What's new, fathead?
I'm Doc Owen here with Action Figure Times. I'm here with John Matthews, who is one of the sculptors of some of my favorite action figures of all time. He's done Gotham by Gaslight. You've done Tim Sale, The Long Halloween. Those are absolutely excellent. He's even done DC Final Frontier, or just Frontier. Those things are just cool. I mean, you've made some great stuff, but you've got some great stuff coming up. Yes. And one of the things, Flashpoint, as we all know, is one of the big directions that DC's taken. It's a springboard for the new 52 that they've announced. And John has sculpted the Cyborg figure, who's actually a central figure in the storyline. So tell us about this and how you went through the process of creating it and stuff.
Well, the process is typical with most of the figures that I do. I mean, I sculpt in a wax. You know, it's all traditional. I'm one of the last holdouts there. I mean, you know, a lot of people are doing the digital stuff now. I haven't made the transition yet. I intend to, but not yet. Anyway, you know, we had new designs for this figure, you know, based on Andy Kubert's stuff. It was sort of an evolutionary
You worked with
process.
Andy Kubert before doing some Batman Black and White.
Batman and Son stuff, and also, you know, we did a black and white Batman and Batman and Son figures. Yes.
You've done some of my favorite stuff, so I'm excited about that. So tell me about this.
Yeah, we. In fact, you know, the design of the figure sort of evolved as we were working on it. We had pretty early preliminary sketches from Andy to go by initially. So, you know, as I was sculpting, I was getting more input from, you know, the art director and from Andy, just to kind of, you know, pin down the design. So, you know, we had like a front view, so we had to kind of, you know, fudge the back, basically design that as we went. You know, that said, I mean, I think the figures turned out great. I mean, I love the new designs.
Now, what is it like to take something from a two-dimensional, where you're looking at it and you're thinking, wow, that's kind of cool, and actually be able to get to create it?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I've always loved sculpting, and I really love one of my favorite things is to actually translate a two-dimensional drawing to 3 dimensions. But, you know, that process, basically for me, it involves forgetting what you know and looking at what's on the page and making that happen in 3 dimensions. You know, so
wow.
you know, most artists know anatomy well, and they have a certain way that they do things. And like I said, it's just about forgetting what you know and just.
Now, is there anything specific with the Cyborg figure that you added to it that you didn't necessarily see in the art, but you thought, wow, this works with the character? This is
not particularly. I mean, like I say, the design was, you know, in flux, but
well, you did a good job making it bulkier, because one of the things with Cyborg is that he's always been like a normal sized guy, but the way that you designed,
almost like Mega Man.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. That was very cool, and this arm cannon is, I mean, that's awesome, and the detailing on this. You know, I happen to believe that DC Direct has some of the best sculpts of any toys out there, and I know a lot of people whine about articulation, but the truth of the matter is
that's kind of our mission. You know, we go for the aesthetic look of the figure. I mean, our mission is to make them look as good as possible. If articulation gets in the way, we don't do it.
Yeah, because what you're doing is you're taking art that we all love, and you're just translating, putting it into another dimension, so that we can take out of the 2-dimension into the 3-dimensional realm, put it on our shelf, and we might not have all the flexibility, but we're able to look at this all the
honestly,
time.
Most of the people that buy and display these are doing just that. They're setting them up on the shelf. A lot of times we'll even have a home pose built in, and we're doing less of that now, like, you know, having them actually posed out. We are adding more articulation now, and a lot of it just you know, fans clamoring for a little more articulation, because a lot of people do that. A lot of other companies are doing, you know, highly articulated figures. But again, you know, if it interferes too greatly with the sculpt and the aesthetic of the piece,
they're made to look beautiful, which they do.
Precisely. Yes, thank you.
Those are awesome.
Thank you again.
Well, there you go. Make sure, I think these are coming out shortly. Make sure you go to your local comic shop and pick these up. These are great figures, and we really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. This is Doc Owen with Action Figure Times. We're back with John Matthews again, and we were going to be talking about the DC Anime line that you've been designing a lot of these figures, right?
Yes, quite a few. Yeah, I'm pretty heavily contribute to the line. In fact, in the future, I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the primary sculptor on the line from here on out.
Awesome.
Okay. So far, I've done 11 of them, which is the most of any single line that I've contributed to at DC Direct.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, how do these things, we're actually looking here at the Big Barda figure, and this is going to be coming out in the next few weeks at your local comic shops. Now, how do these things get created? How do they get made?
Basically, for the most part, Jim Fletcher, my art director, he does a ton of sketches, pages and pages of sketches, just, throwing out ideas of how to tweak the costume from what's represented in the comics and, just ultimately present something slightly new but still recognizable as the character.
Okay.
At that point, I will pick and choose parts. We'll have a phone conversation, and I'll lay out what I intend with the figure. Pick and choose parts from some of his drawings, and just start playing the thing up. At that point, we'll have another discussion. I'll send him a round of photographs. If he disagrees with something I've done on one part, I'll change it, or if I have an idea about what to add somewhere else, I will sculpt it.
So it's kind of a free-flowing process between the two of you guys.
Very much so, yes. In fact, it's a fun line because of that. It's more organic, a little more artsy.
Because there's really not a history to it. This is basically a universe that you all have kind of created and are putting into practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It springs from obviously both of our love for the anime genre, particularly the statues.
Okay, well, very, very cool. Well, Barda's going to be coming out. Yeah, she's a great figure. You can obviously tell why she's called Big Barda. And I just have to ask you a question. Have you received it? Were you like a plastic surgeon in your former life or something like that? This is Doc Owen with Action Figure Times. We appreciate your time. And make sure you go to the comic shops. You can find these and order these. Thanks a lot.